So what? It's just sex.
Wait a minute.
Hey everybody, I'm Ron,
I'm Janelle.
and you're listening to
So What? It's Just Sex.
This podcast takes on the topics of sex in and out of relationships.
And we aim to normalize talking about sex by removing the stigma of asking for what you want in and out of the bedroom.
From time to time, we'll have guests on the show.
And go out into the world and explore what sex looks like for us and other people.
Come with us on this wild ride, and hopefully we will open up your sexual world or at least make you feel normal.
You can find us on most podcast platforms.
Like iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play Store, etc.
And of course, don't forget to follow us or subscribe. And please rate us.
You can also visit our website, sowhatitsjustsex.com.
And our email address is info@sowhatitsjustsex.com.
We're also on social media at SoWhatIt'sJustSX on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook, it's at SoWhatIt'sJustSex. Also, we're on Podbean.com.
And of course, all of these are on our website.
Thank you so much for listening.
We hope you enjoy this episode as much as we enjoy recording it.
This is So What? It's Just Sex. And we're back.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Nothing.
We always make the dog bark when we do that.
She always barks when we go, hello.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Hi.
No, don't do it.
Okay, sorry.
Don't do it. It's oh. Now here we are.
She thinks we have guests.
Man, it's been like 2 weeks.
I know. We've been so busy.
I know. Things get crazy. Like, we really need to quit our jobs.
I wish I could quit my job.
Everyone listening can help us.
Yeah, that's true.
They can help us. But why would they?
I don't know.
Like, why would they? What? Like, they all have to go to work. You know what I mean? Like, they're all having to go to work. Why would they help us never have to work again?
I don't know. That's my question. Like, why would I help someone else quit their job?
Yeah. So
I'd
it's
want to
like-
help myself quit my job.
So I understand that all of you are not sponsoring us or giving us money to help us quit our jobs. But if you wanted to, you go to Patreon.
Yeah.
Because then we can do more content.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we're going to film a sex tape, but if we quit our jobs because of the show, we
I would
will.
film a sex tape if I could quit my job afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shame.
Like
in
if you
this game.
Kim K'd it.
Yeah, but the problem is I don't look like Kim K, so no one's going to want to watch it. But then there's Zack and Mary Make a Porno when he said, like, everyone wants to see everyone having sex.
Exactly.
So maybe there's a market.
But fun fact, Kim K didn't look like Kim K when she filmed the porno.
She was still pretty hot.
I don't know.
She wasn't as made up as she is right now, but she was still pretty hot.
She was.
Yeah, she was dating Ray J.
Yeah. Ray J.
Yeah, I mean, he's Ray J, but, like, you know, she was still fucking that guy.
Yeah.
And he was, like, moderately famous. He's Brandy's brother.
He's famous for being Brandy's brother.
He has a rap career, so
Yeah.
he's famous on his own.
I got it.
So, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like that sex tape wasn't fun. Like, it really wasn't that good of a sex tape.
Well, my thing is I've never actually seen it in its entirety because I'm not going to pay for it. So I've seen like little clips on Pornhub or YouPorn or wherever it's out there on the internet. I've seen like bits and pieces of it, but I've
Yeah.
never seen it in its entirety. So I don't really know. But the pieces that I did see were a little bit boring.
They were. And, like, I mean, you're there for the ass, right? Like... Like if I'm paying $70 to watch Kim Kardashian have sex, I'm there for the ass. And I feel like the ass of back then versus the ass of right now, they're completely
Her body
different.
is completely different now than
Yeah.
it was back then.
And I'm surprised Kanye won't go down that route.
Well, what route?
You know, of making a sex tape. He must not be packing what Ray J's packing, or he'd want everyone to know. He's like that kind of person.
I'm pretty sure she's into big dicks, so I'm pretty sure she's in it for the dick, as well as the fact that he's Kanye West. But he's got to be packing some heat down there.
Packing the heat. This week on Packing Heat, Kanye West.
Is there a porn named Packing the Heat?
I'm
There should
pretty
be.
sure.
There should be.
I'm pretty sure.
We need to Google that.
We need to look it up.
But we saw the Paris Hilton one that was like a few minutes long, and she
Yeah.
was like checking her phone.
No, that wasn't
She like
good either.
stopped and checked her phone
Yeah.
in between like them fucking. It
My
was super
favorite
weird.
celebrity porn was
Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee.
No, I didn't like that one either. No,
What?
no, Anal Teen Mom. What's her name?
Oh gosh.
Farrah. She took it. She liked it. She gave it. She was in control.
She did give it and take it and mostly took it. But yeah, she was enjoying herself.
Yeah, that's the one that got us in trouble. I found a way to download it, and then all of a sudden I get an email that says, "We see that you illegally downloaded."
Comcast is going to come out knocking on our door.
This video. If you do it again, you're gonna get in trouble.
Oh my God.
I'm like, all right.
Well, it was actually, that one was pretty good. What I didn't like, and this is, I think, where we differ, just in general and in life.
Okay. Well, how do we differ?
I had a bad taste in my mouth over it.
Because
Not literally, but because she lied and said that it was a homemade tape that got leaked.
why
That
do you
just
care?
irritates the fucking shit out of me.
But why do you
just
care?
fucking say that you fucked a porn star and you filmed it and you got paid for it. Like, just say that you're a porn star. Why not just own that shit? I'm sure that her porn tape probably made more than MTV was paying her at the time, which is probably why she lied, because she probably would have been fired from MTV for doing Teen Mom and
Right.
doing a porn.
Okay.
But it all came out eventually. Like, people are going to know the dude she fucked was a porn star.
Yeah.
That's not like her boyfriend.
I don't know. I didn't find anything wrong with it.
Exactly.
I actually like don't like her as a person.
No.
But then the moment I saw her take that dick, I was like, I like this. I can watch this.
I can watch this. This is good.
That's been
Content
my
is great.
Yeah, it's really good. Really well made. The production value for a home video was really well done. Oh, hey, I did quotations, and we're actually recording this in hopes that we're
We
going to
normally just do it for each other, but
right now we're
have
doing
people-
it for the masses.
we have people watching.
Yeah, so we're going to be
Hopefully,
recording it
maybe,
and
I don't know.
putting it on our YouTube.
We are.
Yeah, and in fact, now if you look up "So What It's Just Sex" on YouTube, we're starting to be like up there. Where
What do we have, like 2 views?
No, we're in the hundreds.
We are?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there's like each video gets like, or our podcast, because what we do is we load the podcast up there, and each one gets like 15, 20 views, and we're at almost 20 podcasts now. So yeah, no, we're doing good. We're doing good.
All right. I can
Yeah.
dig it.
So I don't know how long or when we're going to upload this to YouTube, because it takes like 18 hours to upload HD video.
I'm
but
sure you'll be on it tonight. You're very diligent in getting this shit handled.
I try.
You do. I know you do a
And
great
the
job.
more we do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
But one of the things you just brought up a really good point, because like the Farrah porn tape, we were
Mm-hmm.
just having this conversation. We were watching this new show on Netflix called Another Life,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about a bunch of millennials who go to space, and it's
Yeah.
but then
Everyone's wearing a shirt that has their shoulders showing.
Yeah.
Like, you're on a spaceship going on a suicide mission to space, to an unmapped planet in the universe, and you're wearing an off the shoulder shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, that's what they're wearing.
that's what they were wearing.
Yeah, but go ahead.
So and in the show, as they introduced the characters, I would say, or damn, or she's super hot, or man, she'd be fun. and then Janelle goes, what did you say?
I said, when you see a person, is it to fuck or not to fuck, or are they fuckable or not fuckable?
Yeah.
Like, to everybody. Like, everyone falls into a fuckable or not fuckable category.
Male and female.
I don't think you do that with males.
I do. I'm like, oh, I think that Janelle would like him and he'd be fun to have in our little menage a
I'm
trois.
calling bullshit on that a little bit more so when we're watching TV.
Well, yes, when it's just you and
women.
I. Yeah.
It's strictly women.
Right, but and then I asked you. I said, so my answer is yes. When I look at anyone, they fall into a
Yeah.
fuckable or non-fuckable category, and
Yes.
I'm sure that's going to get me a lot of heat
Maybe.
because you should.
By who? By me?
No, I'm just saying. No, not
Who's
by
going
you.
to give you heat?
I don't know. I think the masses, because there's
The masses.
the masses, because there's like because people don't want to be looked at when they're just trying to walk down the street.
Like
and-
objectified.
Exactly.
Objectified, yeah.
But I'm talking like everybody. Like when I see, like we've had this conversation before, so you can't
Yeah.
say we haven't. But we'll be like at like the supermarket, and I said the supermarket, like it's all But
It's a supermarket.
Yeah, so we're
It's
at
a
the
grocery
supermarket.
store.
And we'll see these people in their 60s, and we'll look at them, and then you'll be like, "You think they're fucking?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think," or I'd like to see them fuck. I always look at people, and then you'll have like a person where I'm like, I would never want to see what that person looks like having sex.
Right. That's true.
So I do that, but you seem to try to act like you don't.
I don't do that. And I was thinking, just like the Farrah Abrams sex tape, where like she irritates me in life, so I'm less likely to be like attracted to her, like want to see her in a sex tape,
Right.
Because of her personality. It's the same thing like on the show. Like there's a one character on there who's intentionally bitchy, like she's just an asshole to everybody. And Ron's like, oh, she's so hot.
She was spicy.
I'm like, no, her personality makes her trash.
But
And this is just the character, of course.
right. It's not her as a person. So,
No.
and I'm just thinking of her as a person.
You're not at all thinking of her as a person. You're thinking of her as like, oh, I'd like to tap that ass because she's hot and she's got big boobies and long brown hair or whatever it is, you know.
But I also wanted to see the guys having sex, which we finally got. They had like a threesome on there, and I was like, oh, they're gonna get it. And I was the same way about them. The moment that they looked at each other and the girl, I was like, oh,
The
they're
guys
gonna
did
get
not
it
have
on.
sex. They kissed.
No, they kissed, and I was like all over.
Are we
it.
spoiling it for people?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. It's not a big plot point.
It's nothing like what's that show that we loved? The show with all the people that had the big orgy.
Oh, Sense8.
It's not like Sense8
No.
status sex scene, but they do have a threesome.
Yeah, but everybody
Two guys and a girl.
has this like sexual aura about them. So I feel like it kind of opened the stage for me to feel comfortable being like, oh, she's hot. I'd love to see her having sex.
That's really not my point. My point is you're just like, oh, I'd fuck her, or no, I wouldn't fuck her. Like everyone just has a category. It's like black or white. Like it is or it isn't.
I think that's normal.
I don't know. Is it normal?
It is. I mean,
Is it like a guy-girl thing?
I don't know. I think so. Every guy that I talk, I mean, this is the problem. Okay, this is why I'm saying I'm calling myself out for this. Like, I shouldn't be looking at everyone thinking sex, but that's what I do. That's my brain. I have a very sexual brain. I'm not saying that I sexualize everyone, and I only do it in the context of them being sexual on the show. Like, they kind of show this flirtiness about them, this little like sexuality, and then I'm instantly like, oh, I get it. Like I can feel it, you know?
Okay.
But you don't think that. But unless the character's sweet and kind and nice and like a good person, then you're like, oh, I'd totally want to fuck them. But you do that to me too. You'll say, like, you'll call me and you'll be like, oh my God, the bartender that just served me my drinks, she's so hot. And I don't know how to talk to her. So you're kind of doing the same thing.
I'm just saying talk to people. Sometimes that's hard.
I know, but I'm just
social
saying.
anxiety sets in and shit like that, and so.
But you see this bartender and you think to
But
yourself,
I'm not like,
I want to fuck her.
fuck or not. I don't know. I
You
just don't
did.
have that separation. It's not that simple.
So when you were saying that I want to talk to this bartender,
Okay, for instance, let me just give you another example.
let's get a for instance.
If I did talk to said bartender and I learned that she kills babies with her bare hands and strangles them when she comes across them on the street, I wouldn't want to fuck her. You, on the other hand, would be like, meh, she's hot, so I think I might I'd still do it.
I don't have any babies, or I just keep her away from babies.
I'm just saying, if she was like a mass murderer or something ridiculous, I'm just going out there and being outlandish.
No, it makes sense.
But if she was a horrible human
landish.
being, I would be like, no, I'm good. Like, I would just shut it down immediately. Pussy dries up, done, over, out of my head.
I don't know. Like, I see your
know.
point. I see your point, but
Thanks.
I've had weird thoughts about like I've seen some Sarah Palin porn. Like
That's not the same.
she's a disgusting human being.
They
but
made a porn about her because she's a pretty woman.
but what I'm saying is that she's a disgusting human being. But I've broached the idea of
Broached. Have you broached the idea?
I've broached the idea.
What is
of-
the definition of broach?
I don't know. I feel in my brain it's like you get near it. You get kind of close
You've
to
gotten
the
around.
idea.
You've rimmed it.
Yeah, I rimmed it. We just changed the word. Yeah, I rimmed it. But the thing is, so you're right, and I think that makes me, I don't know, like a pig. I don't know what it is.
I wouldn't say it's a pig. It's just a difference of opinions. It's a difference of opinion, different like perspective, different views. I don't know. I wouldn't call you a pig because of it.
I
That's
don't
a little
know.
extreme.
You feel like my spectrum of what I find hot is a very wide spectrum, so a lot of people can fall in that category.
No, you always have like a thing. You're like, well, I don't know. One of her legs is shorter than the other. that could be hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Like-
you always find something, which is nice. You're open-minded.
I am open-minded.
Yeah.
I'm a good person.
You're a great person.
To fuck or not to fuck. Everyone falls in that
To
category.
fuck or not to fuck. Exactly.
I don't know what to say about that. I feel like
Well, it was just like we were watching this show, and I've noticed this before, and I don't know
Yeah.
why I brought it up. Like,
because you knew we were going to podcast and make a good topic.
maybe. I don't think that was it, but okay, maybe. And I was just thinking about it. Like, do you always categorize people? Like, is this is just what you do?
It is.
And I don't. I don't do it.
I don't know. You do. Because here's
Oh
what you
my
here's what
God.
I think.
Don't tell me what I do and do not do.
I'm basing it off of me knowing you for over 20 years.
Oh, okay. All
This is
right.
what you do. You go, you meet someone and go, "Hi, what's going on?" And you look at me, and this is stage one. Stage one, Janelle is, "Oh, he's cute, or she's cute, or they're cute." I'd be like, "Oh yeah," and then I'd go like, "Oh, like you thinking maybe want to hook up?" Stop it! Why is it always got to be that way? No, I'm just saying that they're nice. But then the moment they start going, "Hey Janelle, what's up?" You're like, "Oh yeah, no, suddenly it's different now."
Because I'm not assuming like consent is there. I'm not assuming that they think the same about me. You have to wait for the signals.
Yeah, but you can't have an
Swear-
opinion
and-
before the signals.
I am not one.
This is a very hot topic right now.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah,
What's a hot topic?
Because that is an issue right now, that there's like disgusting men. They just are very outward. Like I might think something and never say it, except for to you, because you give me that safe space. You're my partner. and
Right,
I don't
right.
have to worry about judgment.
Yeah.
But I would never say that to an individual. But if people think those things,
You're just saying it to like all the people listening.
yes. Well,
But-
it's for the show because
Yeah.
it's like it's an important thing to talk about, and we
Yeah.
would love feedback. And send us an email at info@sowhatitsjustsex. Let us know what you think.
Absolutely, but the problem, I don't. Maybe it's not a problem, but you have to have some level of, and yes, I'm going to say it, emotional intelligence. You have to have some level of like reading the room or understanding the social cues that are coming back at you, and then if you're not wanted, you're gonna know if you're wanted or not from a person's body language or
Yeah.
the way that they're speaking to you.
So-
things like that.
So you won't make your decision of whether or not you think you'd fuck someone until they're giving you the inclination that fuck is even on the table.
Yeah.
So
You
when-
gotta feel the vibes. Come
no,
on.
but in your brain, like so you haven't seen a person and been like, "Oh, I want to fuck that person," and still never did anything about it, just had a conversation or just saw them on TV. Like you look at Idris Elba and you're like, "I want to fuck him."
I would never be able to fuck Idris Elba.
No, but
I'm
you
calling Idris Elba out right now. Like, if you just want to hang out. I know you just got married and stuff to a beautiful woman, but
And
you know.
yeah, we're not saying sex is on the table. It's not off the table, but
off
it's
the
table
table.
adjacent.
So, anyways, those are not realistic. That's not a realistic person
Right,
to
but
bring
this
up.
conversation
You're
is-
talking about the average person that you have a conversation
No, but
with.
the conversation has derived from and was birthed from us watching this show. And on the show, I was like, "Oh, I'd fuck her. And oh, I wouldn't fuck her." And you're like,
Actually, yeah, this is just going off the rails now, but it's like a rabbit hole at this point because we've talked about this where I don't want to call you out or anything.
Call me out.
Okay, I'm going to call you out. You like sometimes assume that people want to fuck you.
"Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so." Yeah.
But when you go into a situation, you always assume that that's what's about to happen
Yeah.
because that's what they want. It's
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just like
No, like if
it's
a
not
person-
just like a random person
No.
that you meet at a bar. It's literally everybody. Like
I've
if someone
talked
says
about this.
hello
I
to
know.
you, you're like, oh, okay.
I've talked about this. If
She wants to fuck me.
if a person goes, "Hey, how's your day going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's going good. Would you like paper or plastic?" And I'm like, and I go, "You know what? I don't really care about the environment today. I'll do plastic." And they go, "Oh my God, you're so funny."
And then you come home and,
And
you
then
say,
I'm
this
like,
grocery store girl totally wanted to fuck
Yes,
me.
she
I'm like, what
totally-
did she say?
Yeah.
She asked me if I wanted paper or plastic. I mean, she
Yeah.
was so
No.
down.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
That is a real thing where and I don't know if I should be like you because I feel like more guys are like down that, but like I don't assume anything. Like I wait.
But see,
I
the
wait.
problem is that.
I wait and I watch and I just reserve my approach.
But with me, it's not going to go anywhere. Like I don't say anything. I don't like walk away going, "Take care." You know what I mean? It just keeps in my head. Perfect example. Great story to bring up. Janelle goes away for like a week, and it's been a couple days, and I order Rayleigh's delivery.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this.
So I order the delivery. The person finally gets here, and I see her in the car, and she just looks like a regular person, you know,
Ordering or delivering groceries.
delivering groceries.
Yeah.
She gets out of the car, and she's just got a ridiculous body, and I'm like, oh my god,
Was she in sweatpants?
yeah,
Okay.
duh.
Just curious.
Duh. So then I'm like, oh hey, and I instantly go creep, right?
Yeah.
So I instantly am like, oh, how's your day? And she's like, oh, it's good. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, thank you so much for this. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry it took so long. I'm like, oh, don't you worry about it. And she's like, oh, okay, you know, take care. And I'm
And that
like,
was
bye.
the green light.
So then I go walk away and I do the little like look back, you know, and then she does the little look back, and then she gets right to the car and she's like about to get in, and she looks at me again, and I look at her and I'm like, is it are we vibing right now? And then she gets in her car and she drives and she smiles and she's all that. So I tell Janelle, I was like, oh my god, I was like, what would I say to this person or whatever? And Janelle's like, you don't say anything because that didn't happen.
I was like, you're lonely. It's because I'm gone. You just made all of that up in your head.
And I'm like, no, we both did the look back. And
Oh,
there
yeah.
was like a
We were
moment.
vibing over my grocery delivery.
Yeah.
It was so hot.
Yeah, and I was like thinking to myself, I was like, I don't even know how to function in that situation. Like if she was like, so what are you doing tonight? I would have been like, cooking this salad you got me. Like I don't even know how to function. So it all stays in my brain. So
Yeah.
is it wrong for a person to think those things? I never act on them. I never treat someone in
Right.
that fashion. I would never do that to somebody. But is it like, I don't know. It's different for you because
I think that what were we gonna say? I'm sorry.
no, that wasn't.
I think that it's different when, in terms of people that have like issues with like boundaries,
I guess,
and that's
yeah.
where men get into scenarios where they like they impose their will on another person, a female, male, whatever. Because they don't know how to read those social cues, and
Yeah.
and then they just don't care, or whatever is going on. Like they have mental illness, or I don't know what it could be. There's some kind of like sociopathic tendencies, or whatever it is
Right.
that causes a person to impose their will or rape somebody or whatever. So I think that that's important that you recognize that at least. But it's still funny to talk about.
Yeah, but I feel like you've seen me interact with women. I feel like I treat them with respect.
I mean, I like, to be honest with you, I told you this story. I haven't talked about it on our show, but like I was at a work function, and it was raining outside, and I was walking back from a bar to a hotel, and there was a guy who I've known for years who was walking me back to the hotel.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And I was like, does he want to fuck me? You know, so I had that moment where I was like, is this a thing? He had his arm around me. And I think he was just being a gentleman. So I was like, do you want to come back to my room? And he's like, I can't do that. I'm married. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like, and then I remembered, like, because I was drunk. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that I did that. I'm sorry that I even put you in that situation to have to tell me that or whatever. Like, I felt bad, like,
Yeah.
assuming that that's what he wanted from me. And I didn't just have the mindset that he was just trying to help me home. I had a lot to drink. We're friends. And he was just trying to help me home safely.
Yeah. See, so it happens both ways. It's not just guys.
That was probably the only time that's ever happened to me,
No,
to be honest.
it's never happened to me. I've never like asked a girl to go back to my anything. So I can't say that it would have ended badly.
You've had girls ask you, though.
Oh yeah, ask me all day. Ask me all day.
No,
If you're
you
like,
have, and you refused. You didn't do it.
yeah, but I was in the like.
A different mindset.
I was in the like towing, like I was giving off the vibe, like it's okay to ask, so you can ask kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a situation where I was just like not interested. I just got scared. So I'd say no. But I've never asked a girl. And when people have said, let's go do something, it's always the girl. And then I'm always like, okay, we'll go back to my place or something.
Yeah.
But I've never initiated
No, you
that.
said there was the one time with that one girl, and you asked her, do can I come back to your place or something? Didn't that happen?
No, there was one.
Yeah.
There was one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You told me about that not too long ago.
I did. I was like, oh, you want to go back to your place?
Because you were out with her.
We were out and
You
it
had
was
drinks.
like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it was like a night out. You were just, hanging out together.
And we went to like 4 different
It was
places.
just you and
together.
her. It was like a group of people.
And she was like putting her arm around me,
Yeah.
and she was doing all that stuff, and we were dancing. And then she was like, oh, I don't want. She even says something like, I don't want the night to end or whatever. I was like, I could always go back to your place, hang out, and and then she was like, no.
So why'd she say she didn't want the night to end then?
I don't know.
She was just fucking with you?
I don't know. I think she meant like stay out or do something more fun than me.
Oh, I see.
And then I was like, do. Okay, well, I guess
Wah, 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 wah.
I guess the night's
Out the
over
frame.
then. Yep, night's over. I'm leaving. You know what I mean?
Pew! And then there's like a smoke.
And it wasn't because she said no and thus I was like fuck you then. No, it was like she said no and I felt super stupid and like I'm already insecure. I did not need her help to make me even more insecure.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I feel so dumb.
And that's where I go back to the social cues. I wasn't there. I don't know what the interaction was with you guys. Like I don't know what the conversations were. But it's important to read the social cues. Like you have to read a person's, like I said, body language, what they're saying to you,
I know.
the things that they're talking about, the stories they're telling you. Like if they're talking about their ex-husband or ex-boyfriend the whole night, they're probably not prepared to fuck you. I don't know.
And what's interesting is the next night back at the same place, the people that we know, they were like, oh, did you wind up with, what's her face? And I'm just like, no. And they're like, what? You guys seem like, I'm like, nope, didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't say I got shut down.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
No.
If it was me, I would have fucked you.
I thank you. Luckily,
I would have at least sucked your dick in the car or something. I
you're
would
so
just
sweet.
threw you a bone.
Thank you. You're so kind. Now you know.
It's the more you know.
I know, but I was just making it so we don't get copyright infringement.
Oh, okay.
So speaking of social cues, did you want to address your situation?
Oh, what happened the other day?
Yes.
I kind of do. I mean, I'm kind of like scared that the person might be listening.
They're not
but
listening.
I don't even know their full name. So,
Yeah. So, but just say person X.
yeah, person X. I was traveling for work. I won't say where. And I had been there for a couple of days. I was on Tinder and I was like, there wasn't that many people that I was necessarily interested in. And there was one person that I matched on. And we started talking. He has a good personality. Hence, going back to what we were just talking about,
Right.
He had a good personality. So I was like flirting for like a full day and a half-ish, He told me what he did for a living, which could either be a really good thing or a really, really bad thing. But I just like went with my gut on it because he seemed really cool. I was out and about. I was with my coworkers. We went to a restaurant. We had some margaritas, whatever. And I got back to my hotel and he texted like, do you want to grab a drink? And I said, well, I've been drinking. Like I can't drive my rental car. Or any car. I could either Uber, but there wasn't like a whole lot around the area. So I was like, well, you could just come back to the hotel. We can sit in the lobby, meet each other, and hang out for a minute and just get to know each other for like a little bit, I feel like that's like, he knew my situation.
Right.
Let me just say that. Everything was upfront, honest. He saw the link to our podcast. Like, he's like, what? He made a joke about it. Like, what is your thing? Like, I see your podcast. And I'm like, well, it's all out there. Like, here's the situation. So there's no, like, I'm not trying to deceive anybody.
Right. You put it all out there.
I put it all out there. So he gets to the hotel. He's just who he says he was. He looked the same, no, like, catfishing or whatever. We start talking. And he gets to, I was like, well, like, after, like, 30 minutes or so, I was like, well, do you want to come back to my room? Because I feel like it's pretty much, like, an obvious thing what we're both there for.
And it's like 10:30 at night.
It's late at night.
Like 11.
Yeah, which he agrees to come meet me at the hotel.
Right.
And he was acting a little sketchy. Like, he kept looking at the door and stuff like that. And he kept looking at, like, the front desk lady. And I was like, are you okay? Like, are you nervous? Like, it's fine to be nervous. Like, are you cool? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just like, I have to be facing the door or whatever. I was like, okay, you could switch seats. Then he sat next to me. So I was like, okay. Like, I invited him to get like, a little closer. So it was all working out. So we get back to the room, and he puts condoms on the nightstand. He gets in bed, I get in bed, and he could not perform.
Right.
So I tried to help him out a little bit. He couldn't perform. And I'm like, are you okay? Because I'm like not an asshole. I'm like, I know this must be hard for him, right? Like I have an expectation of what's going to happen. And now he's not meeting that expectation.
Which if you were to like give like a consensus to 1,000 people, when a guy comes to your hotel room and puts condoms on your nightstand,
yeah, he literally like lays 2 condoms down.
They're all going to say that this person understands what's about to transpire.
Yeah, so I try to help. It didn't work. I'm like, dude, like it's totally fine. Like if you're not attracted to me, because that's the first thing goes through my head, and I'm totally fine with that. Like there have been moments where I meet someone and I'm like, nope, you know what I mean? Like, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm not going to be hurt. And he was like, no, that's not it. I just can't figure you out. And I'm like, there's nothing to figure out. Like, I'm not sure what you're even talking about. I'm not trying to be confusing here. Like, my situation. Like, I'm just here to have a good time. I'm here for work. I'm like out of my norm. I'm whatever. And I said, like, are you okay? Like, I just kept asking him, like, what is going on? And he just said, I don't know, this feels really weird. Like, we met in the lobby. We go back to your room. And he's like, I almost feel like I solicited a prostitute. And I was like, what?
I'm laughing because of your face in case no one's watching.
That's exactly the face that I made. I was like, okay, let me try to figure out how to respond to this, because I didn't know what to say. I was a little offended, but here I am in this room with this guy who I just met. And I did it to myself, But I didn't feel any danger, but he was just like really freaked out. And I was like, well, I'm not a prostitute. I haven't asked you to exchange anything with me. I didn't even ask you to like bring me a soda on your way over. Like I didn't ask for any of that. And yeah, I think maybe we need to wrap this up. Like this is like pretty much over, And he was like, I don't know, this is just really weird. I've never done this. I was like, you've never picked a girl up at a bar and had like a one-night stand?
Which we discussed this. I think that's where the dynamic shifted. Mm-hmm. I think he's used to picking people up, and I think he felt picked up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like he usually goes to a bar, gets a girl, and then invites the girl somewhere.
Yeah.
This time he was not the female, but he was the one that came to you.
Yeah, you were saying that like it was like a power shift. Like I was in control of the situation, and maybe I don't know.
And then he just didn't know how to deal with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I got like I tried not to get offended, but then at the same time I was like, how the fuck are you gonna call me a prostitute right now? Like, how many girls have you've probably had sex with more girls than I've had sex with guys?
Yeah,
and you've probably had multiple one-night stands. You're on Tinder, you're swiping away, and you said that your job keeps you busy, so you don't want a relationship, which means that you're probably just going out and fucking around. And then you're gonna call me a prostitute because I want to like just randomly have sex with you?
Like I said, I think
why is that not okay?
I think it was the whole thing. Like he came to you, he went to your room. You were the aggressor in this situation.
I guess, yeah.
And that kind of puts him back. I think he needed to be more of the person who's like in control, and that's kind of like what we hope is like a dynamic shift in society right now, where it can be anyone. It could be the female as the person that's being the more dominant individual. The male can take a more submissive role, which isn't like a very like old timey scenario. Like a lot of times it's the man that's in control,
right? By
olden day standards.
He was like 30, I think. He wasn't even my age. He was a little younger. So I was surprised by the mentality.
Yeah.
It was a little bit old school, I suppose. Yeah. And maybe I'm overthinking it. It literally could be like that he just saw me and was like, no, and then didn't know how to get out of it, which is totally fine too.
But wouldn't that have been the situation in the lobby?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he saw me and he was like, I don't really know. And then he didn't know how to remove himself from the situation. Maybe he got nervous and didn't know how to be like, no, I'm going to head home now. You know what I mean?
So this brings up a really good conversation piece, because I think it's important, especially whether you're single or you're doing like in an open marriage, you have to be able to take things like that in stride. Yeah. Right? You can't let that like fuck your mojo up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't assume how other people are going to react to anything. Like the littlest things can, especially when people are in a state like that where they're so vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the most important things is that if you make that decision to do that, if you're a person who makes a decision to meet up with someone and go, you have to like not take it personally if things don't
absolutely
work out in your favor.
Yeah.
But that's hard for a lot of people to do. They don't have that. They don't think about that in advance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've had quite a few scenarios where things didn't necessarily work out in our favor. And I think it's kind of like trained us to really be a little bit more like, it ain't happening until it's happening, and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
like unless like the D's and the V,
It's not a sure thing until it's actually like happening. Right. And also keep in mind that it's important to, if you're uncomfortable with the situation, be okay with removing yourself from that situation.
Yeah,
and not
absolutely.
feel pressured into doing anything just because you've been chatting with this person for a couple days on Tinder or whatever social media you're using, you know, app you're using, that it's okay to be like, you know what, I'm not comfortable with the situation. I'm going to leave now. I'm okay.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that in a few, like in the Taking One for the Team episode.
Yeah.
And we talked about it in the Women Are from Mars, Men Want Uranus.
Yeah. I
about
love the title of that one.
about the idea that like the guy was nice and you went there, so you're like, I'm gonna suck his dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
then like for a guy, like for me, I don't know if I could just be like, all right, I'm gonna fuck you just to fuck you because I'm uncomfortable.
That situation still gives me nightmares. That was the worst. I will never do that. I will never do that again. Like where I like just take away what I want in order to like satisfy some expectation that
Of
was
a
put on me
stranger.
of a fucking stranger. Like
Yeah.
that was a learning opportunity for me.
Yeah.
And I will never do that again.
And we talked to your sister about that a bunch, trying to, because like she called one time and it was on speakerphone and she's like, so he was nice. And then I'm just like, so I just jerked him off in the car. And I'm like, why would you do that? What am I going to do?
He was nice. I don't want to fuck
sweet.
him, but he bought me like 4 drinks. So
I
just
jerked him off. And I'm like, why? Like,
And like we can't be the only people that have these experiences.
no, and
like,
you know, we've had guests on and they've all said the same thing. They're like, well, I was in this situation, and I was just like, but I've like I can't imagine meeting up with someone and then being like, I really don't want to have sex with this person, but I'm gonna let them fuck me in the ass. You know what I mean?
do you think it's the same?
I don't know. I mean, when we had Christian and Mariano on here, they had a situation where they were both really not into it, and they still had sex with the guy.
I know.
So it's just like that stuff happens. But I think that in knowing that you're not the only one that's happened to, I think it kind of like gives people a little sense of relief. Like you didn't do anything wrong. Just know for the future that you don't have to do that. But one thing I can tell you is I have gone out with girls and had an amazing time and been super nice to them and bought them 4 drinks. And I did not get the half-hearted hand job. I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there,
No.
so I can't even give you like advice on like some tips and tricks.
Well,
that
because
you
those
could have
guys are a little
tried.
bit more aggressive. They're like, "Oh, you want to go back to my place?" And then the girl will be like, "No." And they're like, "Well, can I get you jerk me off?" Like I'm like, "Hey, you want to go back to my place?" She's like, "No." And I'm like, "All right, have a good night."
Talk soon.
I'm gonna go and send you a nice little text message in the morning to ease your guilt.
Oh my god,
I'm terrible.
you're so nice. You're a nice guy.
No, shut up.
You are a nice guy. Why are you telling me to shut up?
These conversations I feel are super important.
They are super
Because I
important.
think that there's so many people out there that have been stuck in these situations and they're like, why did I jerk that guy off? Or why did or even like guys, like, you know, they get into a situation, they're like, I couldn't get hard. Now she's going to judge me. Mm-hmm. I was talking to someone the other day and he was saying that he was with this girl and it's his ex and he hated the fact that they broke up and it's been years and they finally started talking again and he goes over to her place and they are hanging out and they go to have sex and he's like, I couldn't get hard. And I was like, dude, of course you couldn't. And
Yeah.
he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, here's the person you're saying is the love of your life
Right.
and they're giving you an opportunity. And sex is something that can have like, especially for, you know, I know women are, they're all emotion, but for guys, when emotions are involved like that and they're conflicted and scared, their shit won't work.
Which is like so crazy to even think about, because I'm like, you can't get your dick hard. Like, I just think that you guys are so detached from emotion, but that's not true.
It isn't.
It isn't true.
It isn't, and there's nothing wrong with it. And then so I told him, I said, dude, don't worry about it. You know, you shouldn't apologize for it. And if that person is like they're worthy of your love, and for you to feel that stuff, then it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't text you or call you or judge you because you couldn't get hard, then
Yeah.
she's not the one.
Do you want to talk about any people that you've tried to pursue?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just, do you have any stories to share that you would be open to sharing?
Let's see. I've had a couple lately.
Yeah, let's hear one that you're comfortable talking about.
I'm comfortable talking.
I feel like I'm always telling the stories, but I feel like you have some stories of your own.
I do, but my stories are not as fun as your
Yeah,
stories.
but it gives a different perspective on on things that you or other people might be experiencing out
Yeah,
there.
so I was talking to this person, and we were talking for, I don't know, like a week or two, and she really liked me, and we were just constantly conversating, and everything was like moving along, but she is very, very old school, you know? So like my openness and the things that I speak of freely can
How'd
be
you know she was old school?
well, I'll get there.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. So like me being like open and I'll say anything.
Yeah.
I started noticing that her texts were like they'd either turn short after I'd said something, you know, like, we were talking and going back and forth, and there was like flirtiness going on,
Yeah.
you know, and then I was like, oh, you know, I'd love to know what it'd be like to taste you. And then all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
it just stopped, and I was like, okay, so, you know, I started talking and say, hey, you know, what's the deal? Like, did I say something wrong or whatever? And then she's like, oh, well, you're married. And I'm like, okay. I was like, you know, you knew that, you know me.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah, because she knew you beforehand. This wasn't a Tinder swipe.
no, this isn't a Tinder swipe. So this is a person who knows my whole deal. So when I say, hey, what's up? Or like, you up?
Yeah.
The response would be nothing
Yeah.
or something. So then in conversation, it turned out that, you know, she's very like in her brain, what she calls wholesome, you know, and I'm a little bit more not wholesome
Right.
in her perspective.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know, let's talk about it if you want to. We don't have to. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not interested, let's, you know, cut it off. I'm not trying to be a douchebag or something.
Right.
But no, she kept texting and kept texting. And then, so we agreed to meet, and then she cancels. So then she was like, is that okay? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I'm not texting. And then I get texts like, you know, in the middle of the night because she's drunk. And then she's like, you know, blah, 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 this. And then it starts getting a little juicy. And then I'm like, okay, so do you want to meet up again? And she's like, yeah. You know, well, she brings it up. She's like, when are you going to get me that drink? And I'm like, okay. So then we start talking, and I'm like, well, you know, Janelle's going to be back in like a few days. So I only have a few days free now, but then I'll have some more free time because, you know, you travel a lot.
Yeah.
So then she texts me. She's like, oh, I don't know. I'm not liking this or something. I'm not feeling comfortable or whatever. I'm not going to. So I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
So then the next day at like 10 o'clock at night, again, bunch of text messages. And we're just talking. And I'm like, oh, I thought you're never going to text me again or something. And then she was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. And I'm like, well, I get it. And I'm not sure if it's something that I'm doing. But I pulled back on that kind of conversation.
Right,
you know?
right. The dirty talk a
Yeah.
little bit.
And then I said, and then she said something. I can't remember what it was, but it was something along the lines of like I want to be, like, I don't think I want to be like in bed alone right now or something like that. So then I was like, oh, okay. I was like, you know, do you want company or something? And then like nothing. And then the next day, oh, I fell asleep or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. You know, and then she's like, ha ha ha. I think I drank too much or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, I'll text you later. And I've never heard from her since.
Yeah.
So I get like stuck in these situations because what we've talked about is I don't want to become a boyfriend.
Yeah. No, you don't.
So it's
Nor
like,
do I want to become a girlfriend.
right. So in these situations, it's hard because I'm also not trying to be aggressive, because when I try to be not aggressive, but when I try to be a little bit more sexual, not everyone is that way,
Yeah.
you know?
And I know, like, just because you've seen my phone, I've seen your phone, right? And I've seen things that you say, and it's like 25% of the thing, like 25% of the level of the
10.
shit that I get.
10%.
Fine.
Maybe
fine.
even 8%.
Fine, 10%. Whatever.
Like, I'm like, hey, how
I'm
was your...
trying to indicate a low percentage
To
here.
put it in perspective, my text with someone would be like, good morning, how's your morning? And then Janelle's text with someone is like, oh, I came 3 times this morning thinking about that ass.
Or I just get like I get a video of like this guy jerking off in the shower.
Right.
Like, I didn't ask you for that. Why are you sending that to me?
Right.
But that's the
So-
shit that I get.
I
You've
know.
never but not that that's disrespectful. Let me try to rephrase this.
Right.
You've never been that aggressive sexually with anybody that you've talked to, at least from what I've seen. So
I
it's
know.
just interesting to me that like there's a person expressing interest. Several people have.
Yeah.
You've had this happen several times. And then when they get to like pulling the trigger, they're like, no, I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's totally fine. I even met that person. I've met a couple of them
Yeah.
that you've tried. And it's like, I don't get it.
Yeah. And they've heard the podcast. They know us.
They know you. They know
And-
your comedy. They know the podcast.
Yeah.
They know me. They know like where we live.
and they're interested in like theory. Like
But you know,
theoretically.
some guy told me one time, and I never met up with him. He was fucking weird. He always used to send me, I wanna lick your kitty, but it was the tongue with the cat
Yeah.
and emojis. I'm like, that's not cute.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't talk to him anymore. But for a while, I was like, why don't you have you had some fun lately? Because we were just texting. Like,
Yeah.
it was never like, I never made a plan to meet him. And I said, have you had like much luck on Tinder? And he's like, no, most girls just want attention and have no intention of meeting up with you, with him,
Yeah.
I meant to say. And I was thinking, like, you provided, or not just you, but there are men out there that
Right, that
have their
provided
they have their
attention.
hopes up, and they want to be with this person because they want to have a good time.
Yeah.
They don't want a girlfriend, they don't want a wife, whatever their expectation is. And then the girls, when they're alone in bed and they have nothing else to do, they can text this person and they can rely on the fact that they're going to get a text back because it's just feeding into their like ego.
Yeah.
And they want that person to give them attention. But when it comes to like pulling the trigger and like touch face to face, whatever, then they just don't want to do it.
But the thing is let's go back to the beginning of our relationship.
Okay.
Let's take it
Let's
way
go back. I wish we could do the. Yeah.
So you also were not into me because I was not aggressive.
Yeah. Well, I was fucking 18 years
No,
old, but okay.
but-
I mean, you can go back. I'm 41, right?
No, you're 40.
I'm 40, maybe 41.
Yeah, but
Whatever. That was a long ass time ago.
no, but you fell
But
into
yeah,
that category.
I was used to men who were like a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more like, I want to say macho.
Yeah, they had a little bit. They
Is
had
that
a little bit
still
of
a word that people use?
They had a little bit more
Like super masculine?
yeah, hyper masculine.
Hyper masculine? Is that
Yeah.
a word? But like over the top, and not even in a good way. Not even in a good way. But I was very used to being treated poorly, to be honest with you.
Right.
Treated poor, and you know this already, but treated poorly, overly masculine, overly aggressive. And then I was just like, okay, I'll do whatever you want.
So then I come along and I'm super nice
You're
and I'm
super nice.
give you a foot massage.
Yeah, and you like hung out with my kid.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have sex with me.
No, you were like in the friend zone for
I
a little
know.
bit.
And-
But then
and-
you got aggressive and you're like, bitch, I'm leaving. I'm going to fucking Northern California. And I was like,
Yeah,
wait.
but that's the
wait.
thing. Like I don't have the it's not confidence because I'm confident. I think it's just like I assume that I'm going to come off as an asshole.
Yeah.
So I don't
You
want
might.
I don't want to be that asshole, but I think that in order for me to be a little bit more engaged with like especially the girls I meet on Tinder.
Yeah.
Like that one girl I was talking to for like 3 weeks and
The fire dancer lady?
yeah, and she wanted to meet up and hang out and but it was like by then I was just going to be like a cuddle buddy.
But then the other, I was thinking about this, the other piece to that, and let me know what you think, because I don't know if I've ever brought this up to you. We are at a certain stage in our life to where if you meet somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I rent a room in a house, or I live with my mother, even if they're like 30.
Yeah.
And I live with my mother, or I sleep on a mattress in a garage in San Francisco. you're like, I don't really know if I could do that. Like, I'm too old for that shit.
I know. Like, I don't know if
Like, I need someone to be a little bit more established.
like, I feel like it'd be like in Train Spotting when Ewan McGregor goes over to the girl's house and then in the morning he's having breakfast and he's like, oh, are you her flatmates? And they're like, yeah, we're her flatmates.
and
we're her parents.
And actually, this was a good, it reminded me of that because we were watching the show. What's that show where it's like different stories of people? And they have the swinger couple that have been married for years.
It's sexy sex. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, but it's a short stories about different people. Actually, you can see what's his name naked, the Australian guy that dates Katy Perry. I'm losing everything. My brain doesn't work. Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom.
He's in one of the episodes. But anyway,
Easy.
It's
called Easy.
And there's a couple in that show that it's a recurring characters. And in one of they're in an open marriage. They've been married for 20 years. And he's on Tinder and she's meeting people, whatever. They're doing their thing. So he's like a grown ass man, 2 small children, married to this woman.
Yeah.
He's probably like in his 40s,
Yeah.
I would think. And he meets a girl on Tinder. They don't really like each other, but she takes him back to her house, and they like walk through the kitchen. And she has like 5 roommates, and he's like, "Hey guys!" And like he walks past them all, playing their video games, and then he goes upstairs. He fucks her, and then he just like walks back down the stairs. He's like, "All right, bye guys," you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was like ideal situation for his character. And you can tell his level of discomfort by doing that. So there's a level of that goes on.
I know.
With some of the people that you meet.
I know.
Or I meet, whatever.
Yeah, I'm in a really weird spot because like my charm, my allure for all the ladies listening is like I can make you feel amazing.
Yeah.
And if we're having sex, like you know how I do it, how I bring it.
Yeah, which I don't prefer, but yeah, continue.
You don't prefer that I perform on other people.
Yeah.
No, I completely understand. Yeah. Right. It's just I'm supposed to be there to just bang them. Like I don't need to make them fall in love with me.
No.
But I have this thing about me where I'm just trying to be a nice guy, and people keep telling me that it's so rare.
Yeah.
And then I'm like I fall into that thing where I'm afraid that someone is gonna be like, and we talk about this all the time, like someone's gonna be like, oh, he loves me.
Yeah.
And it's So then I tried with this person who I know likes me in advance, already down.
Yeah.
Was like, the moment I was like, hey, let's hang out, they're like, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the moment that it was like, that I got a little bit not me.
And the conversation was good.
Yeah. But the moment that I got a little bit like, not the nice guy Ron, where I was a little bit more sexual.
Yeah, but don't say not you, because that is you.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is the thing that the one thing that girls generally like about me specifically, they like my softness. So if I get a little hard,
you can't be too hard.
I can't be too hard.
No.
So I'm trying to find a medium. If someone would like to test out my skills,
like not soft boiled or hard boiled, but like
like a medium,
right
boiled.
in between.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find that Goldilocks part.
To me, it's like just be yourself.
I know, but myself is a very dangerous self to be.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It borderlines on like a fantasy that another person would be like living out. Where me, I'm just like trying to be nice,
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get the door. Like, oh, did you need help?
Yeah, but you don't need to do any of that.
I know. Did you need help with the button? But that's just. I mean, I can't be any.
Yes, you can.
No,
I've seen you.
No, you. I know you have.
Okay.
I know you have. That's how I keep you.
The thing is, like,
I keep you.
I keep trying to say is like you're courting to a degree, but you're not courting like you're gonna marry this person.
I understand.
So yes, I do understand that it's different, men versus women, whatever. And even in the situation that I brought up a few minutes ago before you told your story, like I was aggressive, right, and that was just who I am.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out.
And which is, I mean, that's like a rarity.
It is a rarity, but it didn't work out.
Right.
So.
But the thing is
it's
that's
like a crapshoot.
But that's me like 100% of the time. Like it doesn't work out every time.
Yeah, I don't know. I gave you advice on like the things to say and what would work with me, but I don't know.
I know.
I think I'm a rare it might be a rare breed.
I know, that's why we're married.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm the lucky one. Because you've seen me be horde,
Yeah.
be medium, and
yeah.
be soft boiled.
Yeah, you got into a fist fight with this fucking drunk guy trying to save the whole bar.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? And
I
you're
know.
like, I don't know how to protect everybody. And he was being an asshole. I'm like, that's not your job to do that.
And then you were torn because you were like, that was sexy.
I was like, ooh, I just got wet, but also I don't want him in danger.
I don't know what to do with this.
I don't know what to do with this. I think we got home and I fucked you.
Yeah, I know. But it was really funny because the whole time home, you're this, you're that. Now, fuck me,
Yeah.
you hard motherfucker.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does happen.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on my where I'm going to be.
Your medium game?
My medium game. I'm working on medium Ron. Medium.
You can't be
Ron.
low Ron. You can't be
No.
high Ron. Just
No,
medium
not at
Ron.
all.
I just think you need to be Ron.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But that's our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't
I
forget
hope
to.
you enjoyed watching us.
Yes, I hope this works out so that way everybody can see us. Don't forget to go to sowhatit'sjustsex.com. You can get tickets to our show on August 24th.
Lucky
And-
Penny Theater, Napa.
Yep, so
They're only
look-
$10 a ticket, so
They
come on,
are.
people. Let's buy some tickets, okay?
And then also follow us on Instagram, So What It's Just SX, and you can find us on iTunes and Spotify. I guess it'd be Apple Podcasts now and
Yeah.
Spotify. iTunes is gone.
People know how to find it on
Yeah.
Apple. Yeah.
So we'll see you next week.
Bye.
So what? It's just sex.
Wait a minute.